everyone, welcome to the Fluorist Programmer, where code and music meet creativity. And today I'm going to show you how can you build a music player. So if you feel like dancing and you want to listen to your favorite songs, this is the app that you want to build. So let's go. If you like the video and you want to see more tutorials like this, don't forget that you can help me by hitting the like button, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Also, if you have any questions, don't forget that you can make a post on the comment section and I will be more than happy to help you. Before we dive into the coding session, I'm going to show you a live demo of how the app looks like. So in this way you are going to get motivated and you know what you are going to be building with me. So let's go to the monitor. The app that we are going to be building today is an MP3 music player, and as you can see here, I'm going to describe you what is this about. So we have a bot container where we will be showing an image of the cover of the music that will be playing on the time. Then we'll be showing the name of the song that we are playing, as well as the artist, and then we have some controls here. We can go back to the previous song. We can then play the current song or going next to the, in this case, to the following song. Also, we have here the duration of the song, and we can jump back between back and forth to the time that we want, and we can also manipulate the volume. I'm going to put it down a little bit, so in this way it's not annoying. So let me play the music. Yeah. And as you see here, we can also go back or go forward. I can change to a new to the next song. In this case, I have 3 songs here, 3 sample songs. So let's do the same. Let's manipulate the time. These are some of the songs that I have been using on my previous videos as covers. And then the next one is this one. So as you see, it's working as expected, and this is the app that you are going to be building with me today. So stay tuned because we are going to have fun and you will have like a lot of JavaScript coding in this session. Let's proceed to create the folder where we are going to be working on today's lesson projects. As you know, we always create the project on the desktop location. In this case, I put the name of music player application. After you create the folder, we need to open the text editor of your choice. In my case, I always use Visual Studio Code, as well as the browser of your choice, which is in my case is Google Chrome. As you see here, to speed up the lesson, I already have some 2 folders that I already created inside of the folder project because we are going to need images for our song as well as some songs to play. So as you see, I have here some 3 images equals to the same amount of songs that we are going to be using. After this, let's create the 3 necessary files that we need. The first one is going to be index.html. The second one, styles.css. And the third one, script.js. Good. So now let's proceed to the index.html. As you know, type on the exclamation mark and then tap on the emmet abbreviation to generate the type structure. Good. Now let's make a right click on the index.html and click on the option of open with live server to get it next here. Nice. As you see here, I also have the tab of Emojipedia open because we are going to be using certain icons here that will be for the control of the music player, or in this case, the MP3 player. Good. So let's proceed with the index.html. The first thing that we are going to do is change the title. Let's put something like music player app. Good. Let's assign the styles.css. Let's create a link tag where it's going to be a style sheet. And then for the href, we want styles.css. Then let's go to the body here. Let's create a div tag. And then let's assign a class of player. Good. Inside of this list, we are going to declare certain HTML elements. The first one is going to be an image. The ID is going to be cover. Good. For the SRC here, we are going to be referencing the first song that we are going to be playing. So in my case, the first one that I want to play is this one that says Lofi cover. So since is located on the cover folder, we are going to put point then slash because we are referencing to a subfolder. Then we go to covers, and here in covers we are going to reference the Lofi cover. Good. As you see, is the image you can see it next to the in the browser. And here on the alt, we are going to just put cover. Good. So after this, let's assign an h2. I want an h2 to have the ID of title. So we are going to have here the song title. Good. And then we want h3 to have an ID of artist. Good. And artist name. Great. So after this, we are going to create another div. And we want this div to have the class of controls. As the name suggests, we are going to have the buttons here. We will be controlling if we want to go back to the previous song, if we just want to play and pause the current song, or going to the next one. Here we are going to use 3 buttons. So the first one is going to have an ID of prep. Let's copy and paste 2 times. Let me just move this to the next line, and also this one. Good. The second one is going to have an ID of play, and the next one is going to have an ID of next. For the icons, I already have them here prepared, but you can look for them here in the Emojipedia. So for example, I look for the first one that is prep. You can just put previous and copy on it and paste it here. The other ones I'm just copy and paste because I have them here prepared. So let's look for the one of play, and then I want for the one of next. Good. So let's go back now to the application tab. Good. As you see, we have all these elements after the image. So now let's proceed to create another div. Let me move this. Good. So let's proceed right now to create another div that is going to be with the class of time. And then the time is going to have an expand with an ID of current time. It's going to be 0, 0, 0. And then we want another span with the ID of duration, and this is going to be also 0, 0, 0. Good. After this, we want to create another div class. This class is going to have the class of progress container. We want an ID with the same name, progress container. Good. Inside of this, I want another ID, another div with the ID of progress. Good. So after this, we are going to create another div too. And this is going to have a class of volume container. Good. Then inside of this div, I'm going to create a label. And this label is going to be for volume. Good. Let's put the content of volume here. Let me just scroll down here, volume. And we want an input. The type that is going to be range. Because as you know, on the volume, we can reference from a range number. So that's why we are using this type. As you see, the range, the ID is going to be volume. We want the min the minimum value to be 0 and the max value to be 1. And then for the step, we want to be 0.01. And the value is going to be 1 by default. So after this, we have all the controls that we need, and before closing the body, we are going to be calling our script. So let's put the source and then reference to the script.js that we have on the root location. So this concludes the part of the index.html part. So let's proceed right now to give some styles on the styles.css. Let's proceed to give some styles to the body here. Inside of the body, we are going to have a background, and I'm going to be using a linear gradient, so I'm just going to copy and paste the linear gradient. As you know, all these lessons, they are on its own GitHub repository that I reference on the description of each video. Then for the color of the font, we want number FFF. We want a font family of Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. Good. Then we want a display of flex to be using flexbox. We want to justify content to be center. Also we want align items to be center. So as we have been doing previously, this means that we want the elements to be centered in the Y space as well as on the X, in this case, axis. So we want the height to be 100% viewport height, and we want a margin of 0. Good. So now let's go for the player. Here for the player, we want it with the width of 320 pixels. We want then a text align center, a background that is going to be an RGBA. So that I have here ready for it. Good. I want a border radius of 20 pixels. I want a padding of 25 pixels. And then I want a box shadow. Let's put here box shadow of 0, 5 pixels, 25 pixels, and another RGBA that I have here prepared. So good. So as you see, we have the player here at the back. Now we are going to give some styles for that image because it's pushing around with that space. So for the image, we want the image to have a width of 100%. So in this way, it's going to take all the available space that Xparent is giving. So as you see now, we have the image inside of the container because the player is the parent container, so it's going to be taking the 100% of the container, in this case the 320 pixels. We want a border radius of 15 pixels. Good. And we want a margin bottom to have some space at the bottom to be also 15 pixels. Nice. So as you see, we have some space and also some border. So let's proceed right now to give some styles for the button of the controls. So let's assign controls, and then we want the buttons that are inside of the controls class. Here we want background to be none. We want border to be none as well to get rid of those borders. Then we want some color to be FFF, so we are referencing to white. We want font size to be 25 pixels. You see, nice. We want some margin, and it's going to be 10 pixels on every border. So after this, let's put some cursor to be pointer, and we want some transition on transform property to be 0.2 seconds with is. Let's put here. Good. So the controls on and the button on hover state, I want them to transform the property that we put on the transition. I want them to scale a little bit bigger to be 1.2. So if now I hover over the buttons, you see that they get a little bit bigger with the scale property, and we get the smooth transition because we are using 0.2 seconds with is. Good. So now let's give some styles for the progress container. And for the progress container, we want a width of 100%. We want a height. Oh, we want a height of 8 pixels. Good. We want a background. Is another RGBA that I have here, so I'm just going to copy and paste. We want a border radius to be 5 pixels. Good. We want a margin top to be 10 pixels, and we want a cursor pointer. So after this, let's assign some styles for the progress div that we have inside of the progress container. So we are referencing with the number because it's ID. So we want a width of 0%. Then we want a height of 8 pixels. We want a background color that is going to be number 1DB954. So it's some kind of green, like the application of Spotify. Then we want a border radius to be 5 pixels, and we also have a transition. We want a transition in this case for the width. So the width is going to be 0.3 seconds with is2. Good. So now let's proceed to give some styles for the time. For the time class that we have here, class time, which is for the duration. So let's go back here, class time, and we want the time to be display flex. We want a justified content of space between. So as you see, we have a space between both times. And then we want a font size of 14 pixels. We want a margin top of 8 pixels. And we want a color of number CCC. So we are referencing to some kind of gray color. Then we want to assign styles for the volume. So for the volume container, we want a margin top of 15 pixels. We want display to be flexbox 2. We want align items to be center. Then I justify content to be space between. We want a color to be also CCC on gray 2, and a font size of 14 pixels. Good. And for the last, we want to give some classes to the volume ID. So we want a width of 70%. Then we want a cursor pointer as well, and an accent color of the same that we have here. So let's just copy this one Good. So of course now the as you see here, we have the volume and the accent color. Let me see. Volume. Oh yes. So here I have some small typo. That's why it wasn't working. So volume here. Yeah, good. So I had an N here and I needed to get rid in order to reference for the ID of volume. So now as you see, it's taking the styles that we have here. So this conclude the part of the CSS, and now we are going to be going to the interesting part, which is the JavaScript file, because we are going to do a lot of logic and configuration. Let's proceed to assign a const variable that is going to be called songs. And here I have an array with all the songs that I have here. So I'm just going to copy and paste, and I'm going to explain you what is the structure of the array. So let me copy and paste here. And basically, I have the 3 songs here on the songs folder. We have 4 properties: title, artist, the source, where the, in this case, the MP3 song is located, as well as the cover, which is the image. So as you see, I have all the covers inside of the cover folder in this case. And we are just referencing to each song, which is cover, its artist, and also the road where it's located. So as you see here, we will be displaying the title, the artist, then the source name that will be referencing again the song, and then the cover, it will be the image that will be here at the top. Good. So now we are going to declare a let variable song index to reference that we want to start from the sound number 0. In this case, it will be the lofi music. Good. So we are going to gather some elements from the HTML by getElementById. The first one is going to be title, document.getElementById, and we want the ID of title. Good. So then we want const artist is going to be document.getElementById, and we want the same artist. Good. Next, we want the cover, document.getElementById, and we want the cover. Const, we want progress, document.getElementById, and we want the ID of progress. Good. Then we want the progress container. Progress container is going to be equal to document.getElementById, and we want the ID of progress dash container. Good. Let's proceed with the controls. Const play button, in this case btn. We want document.getElementById, and we want the ID with the ID of play. Good. Now const in this case previous button pred btn document.getElementById, and we want the ID of prev. Next we want the next const next btn. We want document.getElementById, and here on the next we want for the next ID. Then we want current time, const current time element document.getElementById, and we want current dash time, and then const duration element document.getElementById, and we want the ID of duration. Good. So now we are going to create an audio const variable. Const audio is going to be equal to new audio. So this is the helper that we are going to be using to be able to reproduce the sounds. So and now we are going to create certain functions. So the first one is going to be the function of loadSong. Function loadSong, and we need to pass a song as parameter to know what song we are going to be playing. And we are going to get the title.text content to have the title of that song. So we want the song, the title. Good. Then we want for the artist the text content, and we want song dot artist. Good. Then for the cover dot src. This is for the image. We want the song dot cover, and for the last we want the audio dot src. In this case, it's going to be song.src. So as you see, we are referencing here the properties that we have on each object: title, artist, source, and cover. Good. Now let's proceed to create the function of playSong. playSong. Here, let me put the brackets. Good. And then we want the audio to be played. This is the way that we play the MP3. Good. And then we want the play BTN text content. We are going to change it to, in this case, the pause icon, because if we have the song playing, that means that we can stop it. So these are the icons that you can find on Emojipedia. So in this one, you just look for the pause and you get it. Good. So now let's create the function of pauseSong. Function pauseSong. Good. I want the audio to be pause, and the play btn in this case is going to be play. So play btn.text content is going to be equal to the play sign. This one here. Good. Now we want to add an event listener for the play button. So play button dot add event listener. We want to add an event listener on click to do something. So the second parameter is going to be your callback function. And here we want if audio is pause, then we want to play song. We want to call the playSong method here. And in the case that the audio is not paused, we want to pause the song. So basically, what we want here, if the audio is paused, that means that the next, in this case, element that we want to play is to song. We want to play the song, right? So we are calling the play song. In the case that the song is playing and we want to stop, then it will be calling the pause song. It will be analyzing the state of the audio. I hope that you understand that part. So now let's assign event listener for the next button and the previous button. So then for the next BTM, we want to add an event listener too. We want to listen for the click event. And we are going to do also another callback function here. And for the next BTM here, we want to click and we want to call, instead of this, we can just call the method that we want. In this case, we want to go for the next song. These are some methods that we are going to be declaring in a sec. And for the previous BTM, we want an add event listener also to listen for the click event, and we want the previous song, prevSong. Good. So now let's proceed to create the next song and the previous song functions. First one is going to be the next song function next song. And for the next song, I want to get the song index where I'm located. Song index is going to be equal to song index plus 1. And then we want to get the mode of songs dot length. We want to load the song of the song index here, and we want to play the song. So what we are doing here is the song index. In this case, for example, if we are on the song number 1, and then in this case song number 1 is going to be of index 0, we add 1, and that means that we are going to be referencing to the index number 1 in this case, and divided between songs.length. In this case is 3. So the song index is going to be 2 between 3, and then that's going to give you the next song that is going to be 1. And then what we want is load the song that is located on the index number 1. In this case, it's going to be the second song, and then we want to play that song. Good. So now let's proceed to create the function of previous song. Function previous song, and it's going to be quite similar. In this case, it's going to be with minus. So I'm just going to copy and paste this, and here instead of adding 1, we want to go back 1. So that means that we are going to subtract 1, and we are going to be doing the same operation, but in this case it will be going backwards. Good. So now let's put some comments here. Update progress bar and time. We are going to add some event listener to the audio. So audio dot add event listener, and here we want for the time update, and we want to update progress, which is another function that we are about to declare. So basically what we have in here is that if there is a time update, then we want to update the progress. That is going to be this progress bar here for the duration of the song. So now here let's declare the function of update progress. And here we want to get the progress percent, progress percent, and we want we are going to do some math operations here. Audio dot current time between audio dot duration multiplied by 100. Then we want for the progress, in this case the bar that we have here, we are going to add some styles. Progress dot style dot width, we wanted to have a certain value, so we are going to use backtips in order to inject variables here, and we want to have the progress percent, and then here we are going to add the percent sign, and then we are going to call a method that is called updateTimes that we are going to be declaring a sec2. So now let's proceed to create the function of updateTimes. Function updateTimes. Here we want to get the current time. Const current is going to be equal to formatTime. That is going to be also another function that we'll be creating after this one. We want to get the audio dot current time. Good. Then we want to get the duration. Const duration. We want to format the time to be audio dot duration. Good. And then we want to update on the text content as well as in the current time element and the duration element the text content property. So current time element, we want to update the text content, and it's going to be equal to current. And for the duration element is going to be equal duration element dot text content, because we want to modify the content, is going to be equal to duration. Good. So now let's proceed to declare that format function. Function format time. We want to pass the seconds as parameter, and here we want to do an if is then. So is not defined. This is a helper that we are going to declare to determine if the seconds are not defined. So if they don't have any value of it, we are going to get the seconds. If the seconds don't have any value, that means that I want to return 0, 0, 0, because we are on the beginning of the song. If this is not the case, then we are going to get the minutes and the seconds. So we are going to do some math operation here using the math helper, math.floor. We are going to floor in this case between seconds and 60 to get the minutes, and then we are going to get the seconds with math.floor, and we want seconds, but in this case we want to get the mod, in this case of 60 seconds. Good. And we want to return, in this case we are going to return some backtips. Return, we want to return the minutes, dollar brackets the minutes, then with the time that we are going to be getting in secs. So here we are going to do then $sign brackets, we want the secs. If secs are less than 10, that means that it's going to be 0. And in the case that is greater than 10, we are going to oh yeah, so 0, and then here we want to set seconds. And in the case that the secs are not greater than 10, we are going to use get seconds here. So all we are doing here is that we want to get the minutes, and then the minutes, then we are going to be declaring if the seconds are less than 10, that means that is 0. And for the second, for this for the second location, in this case of the number, we are going to be displaying the secs. In the case that the secs are greater than 10, we are just going to be displaying the secs without the 0 in the beginning. Good. So now we are going to declare some add event listener for the progress container. So here, progress container, we want to add an event listener, and here on the event listener we are going to be listening for the click, and then we want to call the function of setProgress that we are going to be declaring a sec2. Good. So now for the setProgress function setProgress, we want to get an element here, an event, and here the event, let's put we want to create a const width, and this width is going to be this client width, good. Then const click x is going to be equal to, let's see, the e dot offset, in this case the x, we want the duration, const duration is going to be equal to audio the duration, and then for the audio current time we want to make some mathematical operation here of click X between the width and multiply for duration. Good. So now let's proceed to declare song events for when the song is ended. So if the song reach out to the end of it, we are going to be jumping to the next song. So audio dot event at event listener. If the song is ended, that means that we want to do something. So we are going to be calling the next song that we previously declared. And now we are going to declare some events for the volume range that we have here. So first, let's get the value of the volume. So we want to get const volume slider document dot get element by ID, and then we want to get the volume. Good. Then here we want to set the volume of the audio. So audio dot volume is going to be equal to volume slider the value. Is value here. Good. And then we want to update the volume if the user is making some movement here. So we want to add an event listener to this. So to the volume slider, we are going to add an event listener, and we want to listen for the input because the user is changing the range of this input. And then we want to do something. So let's declare a callback here. Here I want the audio dot volume to be equal to volume slider dot value. Good. And for the last, we want to load the song. In this case, it's going to be the Lofi one. So we want to call the first method that we created at the top, that is the loadSong, in order to load the first song in this case. So let's do right now loadSong. And then I'm going to be passing songs. The first value of the song's index is going to be 0. So let's pass song index, and we are going to be loading the Lofi. So this ends the part of the JavaScript part. So let's proceed right now to test the application and see if we don't have any additional errors that we need to fix on real time. So now let's test the application. To get the application not noisy, I'm just going to load the volume here, and let's play, for example, in this case, the first song. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, so cannot read properties of undefined on reading, loadSong in line 37. So let's go to line 37. Oh yes, so what happens here is that instead of song index, I need to pass here the songs. Good. So yeah, I was passing here the song index, and it needs to be the songs array that we have here at the top. Okay, so let's proceed now to load the volume again. And as you see now, good guys, it's working. So as you see, we are playing the first song. If I want to pause on it, you see that we are able to pause. Good. If I want to go to the next song, As you see, we are going to the next song. Let's pause on it. If I want to play again the song and I want to manipulate the volume, you see that is working. And for the next, let's go to the last song that we have here. And this one here, I'm going to be manipulating the progress bar to, in this case, when the song reaches to the end, it's supposed to be going to the next one. In this case, it will be initializing and going to the first one. So if I put here, let's wait for it, and we should be jumping to the first song. And as you see, it's working. So this is all the application, guys. I hope that you have fun with it. As you see, this application had like some pretty complex logic on the JavaScript file because we needed to, in this case, add a lot of event listening for the different controls that we have here, especially for the audio. I hope that you have liked the session of today, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you for reaching to this part of the video. If you want to continue learning, you can see more of my videos here on this area. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye!